Since the rise of the internet and streaming platforms, the way the media industry and movies make money has changed in some aspects. In an article by Stephen Follows, he talks about the different ways in which Hollywood has tried to find ways to profit the making of movies. Stephen claims that since the beginning of filmmaking, Hollywood studios have sought to perfect the model, and in doing so have massively increased the cost of making and promoting such movies. Modern blockbusters are often referred to as tentpole movies, as they represent the most important products in a studio's release calendar. Many aspects go into this perfect model. Stephen talks about, besides just the financing to shoot a film, some other areas that play a big role in how a film profits are marketing, prints, and residuals. Another key way movies try to guarantee they will profit from the release of a movie is by using a technique called formatting. In the book Understanding Media Industries, they claim that formatting is used in order to fight off the uncertainty of the audience enjoying a film and willingness to spend money to see the media. Production companies will use a variety of techniques from past films that have proven to be successful. One prime example of formatting in the media industry is the continuous series of The Fast and the Furious. This movie is known for its action-packed scenes, well-known talent, and multiple films relating to the same type of scenario. Each one of these films follows the exact format the ones before did. If you have seen one of the Fast and Furious movies, then you know what to expect for future films. By keeping the same formatting, the production company is more likely to attract the same type of audiences than they would try to think of a different scenario for every film in the series. Since the pandemic, many ways in which movies have made profit for their work have not been as successful. Since people are not attending theaters and staying at home, production companies have had to find new ways to attract audiences to watch their content.
Today, I will be interviewing a fellow dedicated platform streamer named Joey Haupt, who has experienced a big change in how he interacts with media since the pandemic. To start off, I want to ask how your experience with watching movies in theaters versus at home has changed your overall experience.
Personally, watching movies at home gives me a lot more freedom. And then, of course, at movie theaters, you're just going to have that awesome experience with surround sound and big screen. But personally, I would like to watch them at home.
Since the theaters have shut down, do you prefer to watch big blockbuster movies at home or still prefer to see them on the big screen?
There's definitely some exceptions, but for the most part, I would watch the new ones coming out at home. Mostly just so I could do whatever I want during the movie. If I needed to pause it, I could go eat, or I could grab some snacks and come back. You can just you're not restricted like you are at the movie theater.
Okay. Many theaters have struggled to stay open since the pandemic. When society is back on its feet, do you plan to start watching movies in theater again, or do you plan to still stay at home?
It'll definitely depend on the movie. If I am super hyped for it and I really want to see it, I'll probably see it in the theater just to get that full mind-boggling experience. But for the everyday movie, for the movies that I'll watch every weekend, it'll be at home.
The pandemic has not only changed Joey's interaction with media, but many other people around the world. Because of this change, many media companies have had to find different ways to stay afloat and still profit from their work. Companies such as Disney have started releasing blockbuster-type films on their streaming platform for rent instead of having a big release in theaters. One film they decided to release on their platform instead of in the theaters is their production called Mulan. Disney made this movie available for rent for $30 as well as needing a subscription for their site. While there was some concern on how well they would profit online versus at an opening weekend, they surprisingly still made a profit of around $35.5 million on the first weekend it was released. Even though this number was low compared to most box office openings, all of the revenue produced went straight into Disney's pockets, including the new subscriptions to the platform. From a business perspective, Disney as a whole profited more since they did not have to pay for licensing and distribution of the film. The pandemic has changed not only how people interact and consume media, but also how media companies profit from making the media. With society getting back on its feet, it's hard to tell how society will react to things opening back up. Many companies have started to release their films simultaneously online for streaming as well as at local theaters. This started when some people claimed that they would return to theaters and others claimed they would stay at home, leaving a bit of unsurety of what would be going on in terms of sales. Movies such as Godzilla vs. King Kong have shown how successful simultaneous releases can be. On opening weekend, Godzilla vs. King Kong hit the biggest opening weekend profit since the pandemic by profiting $48.5 million. However, the revenue for this film continued to grow, with it being able to stream on HBO Max the same weekend. With the times changing, it only makes sense for the media industry to change as well. In the regards to the future of media, only time can tell where we will go. Until then, we are still stuck in the middle of normalcy and pandemic times, with the media industry having to find a way to please both sides.